Hi, I'm Karen Lacey. I'm the manager of the Cenovus Centre of Excellence in Sales and Supply Chain Management here at the Faculty of Business at Memorial University. Welcome to the conversation.
Well, hello, folks. Welcome back to Gale Force Wins. I'm really excited to have Jeremy on the podcast. We are doing some work with the Cenovus Centre of Sales and Supply Chain Management. And I'm going to ask Jeremy to introduce himself. Jeremy, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, folks. My name is Jeremy Whittle. I'm chair of the advisory board at the Cenovus Centre. I am also the chief operating officer at Crosbie Group. For the context of today, we'll talk about the Cenovus Centre.
That's fantastic, Jeremy. As I said to you before we hit record, I went through the business faculty in, 35 years ago now. But there was a gentleman that came in and spoke to our Business 7000 class, which was, I believe, culture and business, and talked about sales is the engine that draws the economy. And personally, that actually caused me to be in the career that I'm in for almost 40 years. What does it mean to you to be the chair of the advisory board of such an important group in Memorial University?
When I think back to when I joined the board, and Isabelle Dostelier, the former dean, asked me to join, I was thinking about careers in supply chain and sales. And my experience is that most people fell into that career, and it wasn't a deliberate choice. And when I look around with former peers at Husky Energy, lots of us in supply chain, we didn't decide to be there. We stumbled upon that career. And in thinking about the center, it's how do we encourage students to choose supply chain and sales first thing have the career choose it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great opportunity to get young folks interested in that faculty, interested in that career choice, and then that should help us in business recruit better people and develop better talent.
So I guess what I'm seeing here is that this group it's industry driven. Is that what you're saying?
The center was originally set up through a contribution from Husky Energy, now Cenovus, back in 2019. And it relies heavily on making that connection between academics and industry. And it's really meant to be a conduit so we can exchange information ideas between industry and between academics so that, we turn out those students that they're in tune with the needs of the supply chain and of sales and making sure that we can fill that market gap. Yeah. And certainly we've all seen since COVID, the importance of supply chains and the importance certainly of sales and understanding where goods and services are bought, how they're bought, who needs them, when they need to be there. So really the center is about creating those connections and making sure students that are entering the workforce, they can find a home. And as companies and enterprises have challenges, they've got a source of information they can go to.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. You're right. I mean, I worked in the car business for a period of time, and there probably wasn't another industry that had more challenge cars. And the cars that then showed up on the lots didn't have a lot of parts in them because the areas that they would store the vehicles, they didn't have enough room, so they'd send them to the dealers without all the parts. My God, I can't even imagine managing it. Thank God I'm out of that business, but trying to manage that. So in your own career, I guess you've seen the supply chain challenges for you to execute on a job. That supply chain's got to serve you as best as it can, right?
No, absolutely. I mean, the supply chain now is truly global. I don't think it matters what sector you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in the oil and gas industry, if you're in fishing, if you're in mining, you're in just general restaurant business. Your supply chain is truly global. We've, intentional or not, we move more towards a just-in-time supply chain. Gone are the days of having warehouses full of equipment, full of supplies, or having good people and equipment on standby. Today, you're looking to get what you need when you need it.
Yeah.
And you've got to be fairly in tune with what's happening inside your supply chain in order to ensure that you're competitive. So that's the change I think that's happened, is that move towards certainly in the last 10, 15, 20 years, a global supply chain. And really, we've all adopted that just-in-time mindset.
Yeah. I know that Karen talked about there's a case competition coming up. We're in October here now, and that's November 2024. The concept of a case competition around supply chain is fascinating to me. I know we've already teased out some video on that, and it had a lot of traction. What does it mean to you to be able to have students come in and do a case competition and learn?
I'd actually turn it around. I think what's exciting for me is that idea that the students come in with fresh ideas and fresh perspective. Certainly anyone that's been involved in a role for a long time, a position, you kind of get set in your ways. and then having these fresh, younger minds looking at problems from a different perspective, different backgrounds. I think that's exciting to see what they can turn up with respect to the case competition.
I love that, actually. This is a conversation that I've had multiple times because, in this business, we travel around a lot of associations around the world. Every single one of them want diversity, but they also want a youth perspective. And I have a son who's 21, he's in business school, and he says to me, Dad, I'm not sure what my value is. And I said, your thoughts are valuable. The fact that you have an interest in business, you have an interest in supply and sales. So kudos to you, Jeremy, for leading a team of people that are bringing that to the youth. And I think reiterating that message that they have a voice is really important.
Absolutely. I think, we've got to set a place where, we have need for new people to enter every industry, and supply chains are no different, sales is no different, and I think we need that new perspective. We need that diversity of thought. Frankly, if we keep doing it the way we did yesterday, we're going to fail.
Yeah.
So we need those new ideas, that new energy to come into industry.
It's not lost on me, you're in a very, very busy job. You're the Chief Operating Officer of Crosbie Group.
Yep.
You have tentacles all over the world, and you're taking time to volunteer and be the chair. It's one thing to be a director, it's another thing to be a chair. I was chair of the YMCA, and I know what it's all about. What does it mean to you to be able to give back? And I guess you can speak for the Crosbie Group on this.
Well, I think, if I frame it, I've got 3 teenage children. First one just entered university, and I think it's important to look at the opportunities to, over the last 30 years, what knowledge have I gained? How can you impart that and ensure that the next generation are well equipped for industry? Yeah. So I think it's important that we all give back where we can. I'm at a point in my career where I'm comfortable providing that time, and certainly at a point in my personal life where I've got the time to give. So I think it's important that we can, where we're able to give back.
It's fascinating to me, though, in listening to you say that, despite the fact you're in an incredibly responsible position, the time to give back is often time to give back to yourself and rest. You're willing to get up, go in. I know you had an advisory board meeting the other day, Tell us a little bit about the feeling around the table with your counterparts on the advisory board, and what's the energy like?
It's an interesting board. You've got academics, you've got industry, you get some folks from government, and very much different perspectives.
Yeah.
But what comes through is that we're all aligned, that we want to see the center succeed. We want to create those connections, and there's an energy in the room, which is quite nice. Certainly I'd say we had some challenges coming out of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah.
A lot of these initiatives, the engagement really slowed down. And the energy that Trevor and Karen have brought to the center, it's tremendous.
Yeah.
So as an advisory group, it's really exciting to sit around the table, hear the new ideas, to hear about a case competition, the first one. That's a really exciting time and great to be a part of.
Well, I can tell you this, Jeremy, it's an absolute privilege to be sitting here with you, someone who has, an important company to the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, but you're willing to give back. And I can say this, and we often say this, is that the world needs more Jeremy Whittle. Thank you, Jeremy.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us in conversation. To learn more, you can check out our website on Memorial's Faculty of Business page under the Cenovus Centre, or contact me, Karen Lacey, KMLACEY, @mun.ca.